Right. Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I'm coming back at you with some Wargaming in miniature. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on my uh, terrain that we're working on, obviously. But I've got a few other pieces I want to work on. I was thinking about clearing off the table and laying out the roads and rivers just to make sure everything was fitting on the table. But I don't really need to do that. I can do that on my own at some point. What I was thinking about doing was writing on the back or the bottom side of the roads and rivers where they connect. You know, I could put like A on here, and then I could put an A on there, and that way I would know that those two connected together, hypothetically. But so once I get everything laid out, off camera, I'll do it some other time this weekend or something. I'll lay it all out, and then I'll start writing on the back side of all the different terrain pieces so that when I do go to lay it on the table, I can just pull it out, look at the bottom, say, "Oh, this goes right here," boom, and lay it down, just to speed the process up. Okay. Well, as you know, if you've been following along, we've been working pretty heavily on my roads and rivers this week. That's really what I've been focusing on. And the roads that I've done in the past are right here. Right, these are the ones I did for another game system, and I really like the way they came out. I like uh, the way they look. They're flexible enough that I could lay them on a hill or on a slope or something like that. And you know that they're made out of felt. But I've also got putty on here, a couple of layers of paint, some sand and dry brushing, and then I put earth blend uh, from Woodland Scenics, and then I put the coarse turf on there sporadically, giving it kind of like a road edge bushes kind of thing. And you can see that these are going to work perfectly with the ones I just made. Now, I did not have any rivers, so I decided to go ahead and do them. Now, I did them a little bit thinner, okay? The roads that I made are 50, that's 50 millimeters wide, right? And the reason why I did 50 millimeters wide is so that even with the bushes along the outer edge, the inner edge would be very close to 40 millimeters. Because a couple of reasons. My American War of Independence figures are 40 millimeters. Right? So these are American War of Independence. These are Hessians, or actually they're the Brunswickers. But also, I play Meg, which is an Ancients game. These are on, okay, these are 40 by 30s, right? But these are 40 by 20s, Macedonians. They fit perfectly on the road. And I also do, okay, let's advance these guys a little bit. And hopefully you can see this. I also do Napoleonics. And I'm creating my own game for Napoleonics, and I plan to use 40 by 20, just like Meg, for figures on a base. Right? And so this is just two bases of a 6-figure battalion. But you can see how it would fit on there in March column. Okay, let me just grab this. Maybe one of these. And as you know, I also play World War II. And so World War II vehicles are going to fit just nicely on these roads. Here, let's move these guys a little off to the side so I can slide them up a little bit. And this is a large Flames of War base. And you can see that it fits just pretty nicely on there. I'm trying to get you closer without having to zoom in the camera, you know. So with a 40mm road, I'm getting all kinds of uses out of it, right? And these are the 4 main genres that I play. I got medievals too, but that falls into the Meg category because I use the Meg rules. We got Land of the Free, Meg. I'm using O Group for my World War II. And then I'm writing a set of rules called Marshals and Generals for my Napoleonics. Okay. Let me go ahead and set these off to the side. And that's really the 3 genres or 4 genres that I play. Anything in 15mm, the 40mm roads works perfectly fine, in my opinion, I believe. Okay. So these roads are all but finished because I did the last bit of flocking this morning and gave it enough time. They're dry. So all of these roads are finished and would be ready to be used in the Land of the Free scenario. Now these rivers, you can kind of see that the color that it came out, right? I don't know if I got autofocus on or not, but you get the idea that there's kind of a it's kind of a blue greenish color, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to be bluish green, if that makes any kind of sense. Okay, here's a big chunk of clump foliage. Put it in that box up there. Okay, I decided that I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Vallejo water effects. I'm not sure how much is in here, but I think I have enough to cover this. We're about to find out. Yeah, I got enough. You can see it kind of looks like, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like peanut butter, but white. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush it on the middle of these rivers, and it's going to make the rivers look white, but it's going to dry clear. And I'm going to switch my glasses out because I'm just now noticing these are my computer glasses. And I want something with just a little bit more magnification. All right. Now on the rivers, I didn't use coarse turf. I actually used clump foliage. And on one of them, I think it was maybe this one or that one, I didn't use a very thick glue. And so it was too watered down. Okay, there's something wrong with this. This wax paper feels like it's got a little bit of flock on it. I don't want there to be any flock that gets in the water. So I've decided to move it over here. I'm not going to it doesn't move. It's on here like I said, like peanut butter. It's like super thick. And the thicker that I put it on here, when it dries, the deeper the water will appear. Right? Because it'll be like a thick layer of clear acrylic or latex or whatever this is. So what I'm trying to do is completely cover it where I don't see any of the blue-green underneath. If I do, it's okay. And then I gently stroke it to give it its current appearance, if that makes sense. Now the packaging says that you can put a second coat after the first one dries. I'm not the kind of person that's like that. When it comes to the water, I just put one thick coat and just let it ride. Now this, if I remember right, this paste took about 3 days to dry when I did my Quatre Bras map. I made a little pond in the middle. Uh, the middle of the battlefield or whatever. There's a pond in Quatre Bras. And it's pretty big. I mean, it was a pond about a foot in diameter. And it took a long time for this water effect to dry. Now some of this is getting on the bushes that I did on the side. And like I might have mentioned yesterday, that's okay. That'll just make it look like those bushes got wet. And some of the clump foliage or whatever is kind of getting drawn into the middle of the creek. That's okay as well. Because that just means there's maybe a bush growing in the middle of the stream. My printer came on and printed again. I think my toner is like super low. And that's what it's trying to tell me. Or somebody's hacking me. I don't know why they would. They're not going to get any information from me. You can't get blood from a turnip. Now with this thick putty, you can go in there as it's starting to dry. You can go in here with a brush or anything, a wet finger or whatever, and you can make ripples or whatever you want. give it some kind of 3D effect. And the effect that I'm giving it is a current, you know, not necessarily ripples. I want there to be a current. So I want it to be kind of like parallel to the path of the river. Now, if I was using Woodland Scenics water effects, that stuff looks really good. It dries kind of like a resin. It's okay if you're putting that on a table, or if I'm putting it on terrain that is on a board, because it's not flexible at all. When it dries, it's like glass. You can't, it's not flexible. So it wouldn't work for this type of river that I'm making. Plus, it's runny like water, so it would run off the ends. Okay. So now I'm creating a current, or trying to. Yeah, that's gonna look good. A lot of this terrain making stuff is time consuming, you know? And I'm sure it's like watching paint dry on the camera, but since I was going to do it anyway, I might as well turn the camera on so everybody can see the process. Maybe inspire you to make some terrain on your own. Maybe using some of these techniques. Yeah, once I get the putty all over the river, then I'll really worry about doubling down or, getting it thick enough that it's completely covering the green. When I say doubling down, I'm talking about putting enough putty down so that it's completely white and not and there's no green shining through. When I say no green, that's not really what I mean. Just very little green shining through. Okay, that one looks good as well. Excuse me. Get this monster opened and started. Now on these rivers, I did static grass along the riverbank, not not the earth blend. I went through my collection of static grass and I tried to find one that would match pretty close to the table. Now, something you could use, I've seen people use it, they just put Elmer's glue down. And they put multiple layers of Elmer's glue to build it up. Because Elmer's glue will dry clear. But depending on the PVA that you're using, it might not be shiny. And you can't put any texture on it because it'll self-level. Now when the glue dried for the clump foliage, I went through and I tried knocking pieces off with my fingers. You know, I ran them all pretty vigorously, to be honest, over the clump foliage. I was trying to knock anything off that would maybe fall off in the middle of a game. And a lot of it fell off, don't get me wrong. But when I add this water effect, I'm still getting a little bit of the water, the clump foliage coming off. Weird, because I really tried to get a lot of it knocked off. What? Oh, like I dropped my... brush. Here we go. 3 more to go. But I got to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then we'll do the last 3. Almost back. Sorry for the delay. That tea just, I had some tea this morning and it just went right through me. And I can see my camera is frozen. Okay, so I'm glad I came over here to see that. See if we can't get that fixed. Hopefully that fixed it. While I'm over here by the computer, okay, I'm hearing things go click, click, click. What's going on here? You can turn it off. Yep, the camera stopped again. I'm gonna try to fix that. Okay, I'm having some technical issues. Okay, if I can't get this camera resolved in just the next few minutes, we'll probably end the stream. But I got one more thing I could try. Okay. Hey, we're back. All right, we're back on. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can continue these rivers. Yeah, we lost a lot of time there, didn't we? About 30 minutes, actually, I think. Um, I had a couple of things planned that I wanted to do today, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do it. Not only do I want to lay out all the roads and rivers on the map on the table just to make sure and to label the bottoms. I can do that at some other time. I don't have to do that on camera. But I wanted to kind of visualize the redoubt that Fraser is in. And how I wanted to model that. Um, I can put it on the uh, northwest corner of the map. Maybe about 6 inches of the map can be the redoubt. Um, in that. But I don't actually have to place the figures in the redoubt. It could just be assumed that the units are partially off the table north, because I was only going to put like half of the redoubt or 1/3 of the redoubt on the table. I was going to leave the rest of the redoubt off the map, off the table, kind of like just putting it in the corner. My camera died again. My camera, what's going on with my camera today? I wonder if I could do it from this side. No, it doesn't pop back on until I deactivate it and reactivate it. Oh, that's working. Okay, what's going on? Let me check a setting here. Oh, I know there is a setting I changed last night. Let's see if that affects whether the camera cuts off again. I reverted it back to the old setting. I was trying to get better quality out of my camera. Okay, we got motion. So if you could imagine just like a redoubt in a corner of the table, I could say that Fraser's brigade is in that redoubt. Because when they sally forth, they would sally forth out of the redoubt. And we could just assume that all the units are in there, but some of them might be off the map. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to see if I could squeeze all the units into that corner and behind palisades, earthworks and the like. So I was thinking about making it physically, I could always just say that the units are immediately off the map and that they can just move onto the map and not actually model a redoubt. That's no fun. I want to model it. I want to put my woodworking skills to good use and make the walls and the earthworks and the berms and all that. But now I believe that there is another redoubt on Bemis Heights, and that's another battle that in this campaign, it's like the battle immediately after this one. A lot of the same units participated. I do believe that there's a full-size redoubt there on that in that scenario. I think I might be getting my timelines all mixed up. And I think Benedict Arnold actually got injured at Freeman's farm trying to take the guns at the redoubt, I think. So there might actually be a need or a desire to actually make that redoubt, because it might get involved in the fight. Okay, one more. Now I can see these two here are almost starting to dry, because I'm starting to see the green shine through. Okay, I'm going to be right back. Heard. Pretty loud. There we go. Yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated, guys. I don't know. I'm visiting the bathroom. I'm doing my business. I think I'm completely done. You know, I'm feeling good. And then I get up to leave the bathroom. And then another wave hits me. And I have to sit right back down. I know that's probably TMI for you, but that's what's going on. I have something going on in my stomach. My bowels. I think it's probably not the tea that I drank this morning. Because that hasn't caused me to do this before. But I had some leftovers from last night as breakfast. I ate I think it's Hamburger Helper. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But it was like hamburger and noodles, and it was kind of a Mexican or a spicy sauce. And I think it's like hitting me pretty hard. Because I had it this morning for breakfast. Okay, no more clear. I didn't use that much of it. I still have a good chunk of this left. Seal that up. Clean this brush. Okay, the nylon brush is clean. Hands are wet. Let me dry that off. Okay. So I'm going to use this floor mat. I'm going to use the corner here to kind of represent the corner of the table. I'm going to put all these figures away. And then I'll pull out the units that are supposed to be in the redoubt. I'll see how much space it takes up. think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. It'll be easier for me just to bring this whole tray over. Okay, there's 5 stands of grenadiers. Three stands of the 24th. 3 stands of light. I'll have to double check, but I think it's a battery of 3-pounders and a battery of 6-pounders. And of course the general, but he's not, there's Simon Fraser right there. But he doesn't necessarily have to be in the redoubt. He could be sitting beside it or whatever. Okay, I'm going to catch my breath here. Running back and forth to the bathroom is maybe lose my breath. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So imagine this is the side of the table, and this is the back side or British side of the table. And the battlefield is being played this way. The units don't deploy in a Napoleonic column. They're line or march column only. So they would always deploy like this, especially in a redoubt. And I kind of want to make the redoubt like this, but I kind of want to make it star-shaped, or, I don't know how to explain it. But, and then there would be a battery. I'm basically just trying to figure out the minimum amount of space I would need. He'd be outside, but that's okay. I mean, I could probably even put him over here like this. Interesting. Okay, 6 inches would be right along this line here. And that's good because I was thinking I was going to do like a 6x6, but I'm not going to be able to do a 6x6 because of the length. 8 would not be enough either. It's going to have to be like a 6x10. I'm going to have to make a redoubt like, 6x10. Oof, pretty big. And then that's just for the figures to fit. And that's not how I want it to look. Right? I want it to... I kind of want it to look like, like a star or a... I don't know how to explain it. Now I could go out and then back and kind of angle this way. I don't know. I should probably try. Okay, I know just looking at it like this, I know I'm going to need a 6x10, but I could do a 12-inch or a 10x10 or something. I'm thinking about doing 6-inch modules, like a 6-inch piece here, a 6-inch piece here, a 6-inch piece here, and it would just, 6-inch would be like this, and then 6 would be like this, and there would be like a 2-inch gap. Yeah, 6 inches wouldn't even cover both guns. Wait, am I missing a stand? Oh, this is the Grenadiers. Okay. I'm going to push the Grenadiers back. And I'm going to imagine a 6-inch piece with palisades and all kinds of terrain built up on it, but the guns right up against it like that, right? And then if another one was over here, kind of like that, right? So I got a 6-inch palisade there. Which would only stick onto the table like that. And I could move that around a little bit. I could even compress it. Well, let's go the other way. I could compress it up against the Grenadiers. And then the other one would be like that. And there would be a little gap there that I could make a doorway or something. Now I'm just trying to see Okay, that unit could fit there if I was to force this unit out a little bit, angle it out even. And then this unit could go right there. Okay, so technically for this scenario, I only need to make, and I arbitrarily chose 6 inches. I could make it 4 inches. I could make it 10 inches. Okay, hang on. I've got these. And I could even use these on these palisades. I'm thinking if I did a 4-inch, I could put 2 of them side by side and it would cover that entire front if I did them in 4-inch sections. And then over here, if I did a 4-inch, and I did 2 of them, so it would be like an 8 by 8. That would be a nice size redoubt. That would be an okay redoubt. An 8 by 8. Yeah. These are Gambians, or Gambians, is that what they're called? And over here it's okay, but over there might have to. Okay. One of them is a short. I could put them 2 per 4-inch, and that would leave crenellations. Yeah, that'll work. I could do it that way. So all I would need is, and then I could do it in millimeters. I don't have to do it in inches. This is 8 inches. Okay. Let's think millimeters. Let's think millimeters. Okay. These are for Meg. And Meg uses base width for all their ranges, which is 40 millimeters. So if I did 80 millimeters, oh, that's short. Four, 8, 120. So they would be 90 millimeters. Yeah, 90 millimeters must be close to 8 inches. Or, I mean, 4 inches. Yeah, because if I just did 40 millimeters, I'd only get this much. And that much. Which is also okay, because that leaves an opening there. But I think I like the 4-inch better, because we don't use millimeters in Land of the Free. We use inches. Now, each one of these measurements is, in reality, they're 2 inches, but in game purposes or measurements for the game, they count as 3 inches, because I use it as a 2/3 measurement. I think that's right. Let me double check. Yeah, they're 2 inches. And so 2 of these count as like a 6-inch shot. So, you know, that counts as like a 6-inch length, when in reality it's only 4 inches on the table. And I think I like that. And then I'll also use these Gambians. I'm sorry, not Gambizins. Gambizins is something you wear. 2, 4. Yeah, that'll give a redoubt at about that big. That's gonna be fine. That's gonna be perfect. But like on Bemis Heights or something like that, I think I need like a full circle or square or something. I might be mistaken. But I'm not working on Bemis Heights. I'm working on Freeman's Farm. But I'm just thinking ahead, thinking, advance. What do you call it? Forward thinking. Now, if these are 4 inches, I can do popsicle sticks. I might even have some 4-inch bases. I got some 80 millimeter bases. I got some 120s as... Oh, wait. I think I might have some 4-inch bases. Okay, I'm moving boxes around. Bear with me. I'm digging out some bases. I got Robotech miniatures over here. I got to kind of move around. I could be wrong, but I could be right. I could be wrong, but I could be right. I got these bases here. There was a time when I was designing my Marshals and Generals, I bought a whole bunch of different base sizes. Oh, that might work perfect. to try to decide which way I want to go with it. Okay, both of these are 4 inches. Okay. I'm digging it so far. Hang on, I'm digging it. So this has to be trimmed and filed down and everything. That piece has to be cut out. That's part of the mold. It's rubber. Whatever, I'll get that out. I think the Gambians would be best if they're close to one side and then the other side has earthworks on it. I think I want to raise up the ground up to the way the base looks on this. Or I could just make a mound and put these on top. But I think I want to put them close to the backside. Maybe not centered. Just a little bit. I'm trying to decide if a thicker one, I think these are 40 millimeters. Yeah, they're 40 millimeters. Which is the same as the base widths in all these guys. Trying to decide if I'm going to need this much earthwork, or I don't think so. I think this is all I need. Now later, when I expand my fortifications, with more of these, or maybe Bemis Heights or something, I can always do logs, or I could do, yeah, I could do logs, or wooden planks. Do I want to connect these? Or do I want to leave it open like there's a path out? Yeah, I think this one I want to have go straight across, parallel to the battlefield. And these bases are super thin. And I hate super thin bases. My My philosophies have changed. I went away from the super thin bases to bases that are thick enough that they don't stack on top of each other. But I have some material that I can put underneath these bases. Yeah, this I can... I could put another piece there that maybe has like a door or a gate or a fence or something like that. Or I could just leave it open like that. And the guns can go right up against it. Troops can go up right up against it. Guns. I could do something like that, whatever. I could even pull this back if I feel like it takes up too much space on the battlefield. Even if they were to touch. Well, no. I wouldn't want them to touch. But I could do something like that. I could pull this back. And with this being like that with a little bit of earthworks along there, I think that'll look good just like that. Okay, we figured it out. I'm gonna, these 440, I guess these are 30 millimeter. That's kind of what I'm guessing on this. Yep, they're 30 millimeter. But they're super thin. But I can always thicken that up. I've got material that I can thicken that up with. What I'll do is I'll put, I'll thicken them up with that, I got some like rubber that I would put on there. It would give it some thickness. And then I can glue these down and completely cover it with putty and then paint it. That won't take but 5 minutes to paint it, that is. Preparing resin. They might have mold release. Wash in warm soapy water. To level the bases, carefully sand the base using sandpaper. Use a sharp model knife to trim away any flash. Allow casting to dry completely before gluing or priming. Prime cleaned casting with a good auto or plastic specific primer. Okay. Good to know. Alright, well, we're not going to be doing that today. I just wanted to do a little imagination. And you can see these are starting to dry pretty nicely. I'm actually pretty happy with the speed at which they're drying. because, like I mentioned earlier, the lake at Quatre Bras took like 3 days to dry. But I had put it on there like super thick too, I think. And I might not have used the Vallejo. I might have used the AK. It's possible. On my terrain boards, the ones that I made out of styrofoam, I actually used the Woodland Scenics water effects. Poured it in there. The end of each river, I had put some packing tape so that when it flowed into the end of the river, it didn't leave. It stayed where the packing tape kept it in. And then when I went to cut or peel the packing tape off, it just peeled off the resin. There was no problem. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I think you can see it. I've got this one format. I cut it in half, so now I've got 2 chunks of it. I'm going to pick one of those and I'm going to cut it down a bunch of times. I think I'm going to cut it down to 2-inch squares. Yeah, maybe 2-inch squares, a lot of them. And then I can just lay them on the battlefield wherever I need them. Okay. I think that's what we're going to call it. It's 11 o'clock. Sorry, what do you call it? Sorry, I took a lot of the time doing the dirty deed in the toilet. Yeah, here they are. I've got this Foamies No Messy Glue, 2mm thick, and it's got a peel off sticky back. I'll just stick a little bit of that on each one of these bases to give me a thicker base before I start work. So that's what, and this is kind of a, I don't know, it's rubber, but it is like super thin. That's exact. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I don't know how much I paid for it. I think it was like 50 cents for a sheet. I don't remember. But it's great for, I bought these back when I was doing British Grenadier. That was many years ago. And I had metal bases for my British Grenadiers figures. Right? I had used those metal bases, but I didn't like them being as low as they were. So I got this and stuck it on the bottom of my metal bases. And that worked really well. Really well. So we'll do it again with these guys. And what is, now I'm just curious. $100, okay. So these are actually 100 millimeters by 30 by 100. Yep, 100 would be 4 inches, right? It would be 50 and 50. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's going to work just great. Cut this with scissors. You can trim it. I don't use a knife. I just cut it with a pair of scissors. These are basically done. They just have to dry. Roads are done. So one of these days I'll pull everything off the table. I'll lay out all the roads and the rivers and the redoubt and the towns and the bridges, and then I'll start laying out all the fencing and the fields and the trees just to see where everything's at. You know what? Look for me to do that on Monday. I think I'll do that on Monday. When everybody's at school or work. I'll do that. Alright guys, well I'm going to end the stream right here. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me. And again, I apologize for that delay. And I will put these Macedonians away. I didn't put them away. Alright, and we're out.